Today, we're diving into a heart-pounding action thriller, Safe House, starring the legendary Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. The story revolves around Matt, a CIA operative stuck with a pretty uneventful assignment, guarding a safe house in Cape Town, South Africa. It's a ghost town most of the year, leaving Matt to enjoy a leisurely life with his French girlfriend. While comfortable, it's a far cry from the adrenaline-fueled spy life he craves. Matt yearns to prove himself, constantly pestering his superior, David, for a transfer to a more exciting post. David, citing lack of experience, brushes him off, leaving Matt frustrated and restless. One day, Tobin Frost, a former CIA operative turned high-profile target, surfaces in Cape Town. This guy's the real deal, wanted by multiple intelligence agencies after making a fortune selling classified information. Little does Frost know, he's already being hunted. Entering a bustling restaurant, Frost meets with an old contact, Alec Wade, an MI6 agent. Alec, in possession of a microchip containing sensitive data, proposes a lucrative partnership. Frost, ever cautious, takes the chip to the restroom and, using a specialized injector, implants it within his own body. Just as he finishes, an assassin bursts in, gun drawn. Frost, unfazed, swiftly dispatches the would-be killer, but the message is clear. He's a marked man. Thinking fast, Frost finds a man resembling himself, pays him handsomely, and has him walk out the front door wearing his clothes. As expected, the decoy is gunned down by mercenaries lying in wait. They search the body, only to realize they've killed the wrong man. The intel is gone. Frost and Alec, meanwhile, make their escape through the back, vanishing into the city. As they drive, Alec attempts to explain himself, claiming he's been framed. Mid-sentence, a bullet rips through his head, sending the car careening out of control. Miraculously, Frost emerges unscathed, quickly disappearing into a nearby protest march. The mercenaries' leader, furious at the escape, gives chase with his men. The crowded streets force them to pursue on foot. Frost, using his cunning and agility, manages to stay steps ahead. But he's one man against a pack of wolves. It's only a matter of time before the mercenaries close in, trapping him. Cornered and with nowhere left to run, Frost makes a daring decision. He ditches his weapon and sprints towards the nearby American embassy. It's a gamble, surrendering to the very people he's been evading, but it's better than becoming Swiss cheese the next second. News of Frost's capture sends shockwaves through CIA headquarters. This is no ordinary fugitive. This is the legendary Tobin Frost, a ghost for a decade. A master manipulator who joined the CIA in 1984, Frost had a knack for persuasion, successfully completing countless missions and even turning several high-value assets with just his words. His sudden departure 10 years ago, selling secrets and engaging in espionage across the globe, had made him a legend. His voluntary surrender raises eyebrows and suspicions about his true motives. Adding to the dilemma, the CIA's hands are tied once Frost is extradited. They have no jurisdiction on domestic soil, and even if they hand him over to another agency, they can't use their usual methods. Conventional interrogation techniques are useless against a master manipulator like Frost. They need to get what they can, and fast. The director assigns the interrogation to Catherine, a seasoned CIA operative and a colleague of David's. Catherine has a covert team in South Africa, ready to transfer Frost to a local safe house for questioning within 2 hours. And guess who's in charge of that safe house? Matt. As the extraction team heads for the embassy, Matt receives orders to prepare for a guest. Arrives, escorted by the team. Matt instantly recognizes the legendary operative. Inside the interrogation room, the team cuts the surveillance feeds and gets to work. At first, Matt is in the dark, but it doesn't take long for him to realize what's happening. The team knows exactly who Frost is, and they're not pulling any punches. They're using waterboarding. The brutality of it all sends chills down Matt's spine. It's a grim reminder that for some, this is just another day at the office. Frost, true to his reputation, endures 2 rounds of waterboarding without breaking. Just as the team prepares to switch tactics, the power goes out. Checking the surveillance feeds, they discover the mercenaries, led by the menacing Beard, have surrounded the safe house. With a deafening blast, The mercenaries breach the main gate, and all hell breaks loose. Outnumbered and outgunned, the extraction team faces an uphill battle. The mercenaries, armed with flashbangs, grenades, and heavy firepower, are relentless. It's only a matter of time before they overrun the safe house. Tasked with guarding Frost, Matt listens to the deafening gunfire, his anxiety growing with each passing moment. Frost, knowing he's doomed if captured by the mercenaries, starts working his magic on Matt, urging him to escape with him. He convinces Matt that it's the only way to survive the onslaught and that, as a rookie, Matt has a better chance of getting away with him. Frost's words plant seeds of doubt in Matt's mind. He peeks through the back door, only to witness the team leader gunned down right before his eyes. The extraction team is wiped out, with Frost fanning the flames of chaos and reminding him of his duty to protect the asset. Matt panics. He makes a split-second decision. He's running, and he's taking Frost with him. They slip through a hidden passage, escaping the mercenaries' grasp and emerging onto the bustling streets. Matt commandeers a car, shoves Frost into the trunk, and speeds off into the urban jungle. Beard, discovering the escape route, rallies his men and gives chase. Navigating through traffic, Matt informs headquarters of the situation, requesting immediate extraction to the consulate. The higher-ups refuse, fearing an international incident if a firefight erupts near the consulate. With no other CIA assets nearby, they order Matt to lay low with Frost, avoid using his phone, and wait for extraction at 6 p.m. Desperate to shake off their pursuers, Matt takes a gamble. He swerves the car violently, crossing into oncoming traffic. It's a risky move, but it buys them some distance from Beard and his men. But before Matt can catch his breath, the wily fox in the trunk makes his move. With a swift kick, Frost breaks through the backseat partition and lunges at Matt. A struggle ensues, the car swerving erratically as they grapple for control. Frost tightens his grip on Matt's throat, choking the life out of him. Thinking fast, Matt slams the car into an underground parking garage, ramming it headfirst into a parked vehicle. The impact sends Frost flying forward, his body colliding with the windshield. He slumps back, unconscious. Matt seizes the opportunity, grabs his gun, and regains control of the situation. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, the CIA confirms Matt's story and runs a thorough background check on him. The results are conclusive. Matt's record is impeccable, his skills top-notch. The question remains, how did the mercenaries know the safe house location? There's only one answer. Someone leaked it. The director orders Catherine and David to investigate everyone involved, determined to expose the mole within their ranks. Having learned his lesson, Matt takes no more chances. He gets in the back seat, gun trained on Frost, and orders him to drive. As they drive, Frost tries to steer them towards a place called Lenga. Suspicious, Matt immediately puts a stop to it. Frost, unfazed, strikes up a conversation, attempting to build rapport. With a few well-placed words, the cunning Frost deduces Matt's real name and even guesses his background as a talented but overlooked operative, much like himself in his younger days. Feigning concern for Matt's safety, Frost helpfully points out that the safe house location was highly classified, impossible for the mercenaries to obtain so quickly unless there was a mole within the CIA, and a high-ranking one at that. Matt, though skeptical, can't help but feel a knot of unease in his stomach. Frost drops another bombshell. He tells Matt that even if he succeeds in this mission, he'll receive nothing more than a pat on the back. But if he fails, he'll be the scapegoat, left to carry the blame. The message is clear. There's no reward for loyalty, so why not join him and escape? They end up at a motel, seeking refuge. Matt uses a payphone to call his girlfriend, fabricating a story to explain his absence. Due to the nature of his work, he's kept his true identity hidden from her, weaving a web of lies to protect his secret. During the call, he asks her to check for any suspicious individuals or vehicles outside. As he suspected, a police car has been stationed nearby. Fearing for her safety, he instructs her to stay at a friend's place for a few days. His girlfriend, though suspicious, trusts him enough to agree. At 6 p.m. sharp, Matt contacts headquarters. David informs him that a GPS device with the location of the next safe house has been stashed in a locker at the stadium train station. Matt's to take Frost there. After that, he can choose to stay with the CIA or walk away. Matt retrieves the GPS device. The destination, a safe house in the suburbs. The stadium is buzzing with activity, a soccer match in full swing. Frost, seeing an opportunity amidst the crowds, hatches a plan. He approaches a group of police officers, thrusting his handcuffed wrists in the air, and cries for help, claiming he's being kidnapped. Several officers converge on Matt and Frost. Panicked, Matt reaches for his gun, but the move backfires. The police overpower and arrest him, while Frost is escorted to the medical station for a checkup. But through the security cameras, Matt watches in disbelief as chaos erupts in the medical station. Frost is gone. He alerts the police. As officers swarm the medical station, Matt seizes his chance. He overpowers the remaining two officers, grabs the sheriff's radio and equipment, and makes a run for it. From a vantage point, Matt uses the radio to direct the police in their pursuit of Frost. They eventually corner him, disguised as an officer. But just as Matt draws his weapon, his cover is blown. Ignoring the fleeing civilians, the police open fire on Matt. He returns fire, then sprints towards Frost's location. Their paths collide in an underground tunnel. Guns drawn, they face off in a tense standoff. In a flash, Frost disarms Matt and sends him crashing to the ground. Perhaps seeing a reflection of his younger self in Matt, Frost shows mercy. He fires a shot near Matt's ear, temporarily disabling him, then disappears into the labyrinthine tunnels. The loss of his target weighs heavily on Matt. He reports back to headquarters, revealing the disastrous turn of events. Catherine orders Matt to cease all activity and seek refuge at the consulate, awaiting further instructions. But Matt refuses to back down. He spent a year undercover in Cape Town, knows the city like the back of his hand. Given the chance, he can catch Frost. The director, however, remains firm, cutting Matt off and stating that they have other plans for Frost's capture. Defeated, Matt stands down. Catherine turns on David, blaming him for sending an incompetent agent. David retaliates, criticizing Catherine's flawed operation. The director, witnessing their blame game, he orders both Catherine and David to get on a plane to South Africa and personally bring Frost in. Matt decides to come clean with his girlfriend. He meets her, his heart heavy with guilt, and breaks things off. It's a cruel blow, but he can't keep her in the dark any longer, can't risk her safety. He gives her money and a ticket to Paris, urging her to leave immediately. As he watches her go, his heart aches, but he knows it's for the best. About to leave the station, Matt hears an announcement over the loudspeaker, "Lenga." It dawns on him. Frost had tried to drive there earlier. Could it be? A knot of determination tightens in Matt's chest. He logs into the CIA database, searching for suspicious individuals connected to Lenga. Back at headquarters, technicians track his every move. He quickly zeroes in on a target, a renowned forger named Carlos Viller. Headquarters immediately alerts Catherine and David, who are en route to South Africa. As suspected, Frost heads straight for Lenga. He retrieves the implanted microchip and seeks out Viller, needing a new identity to escape South Africa. Viller, an old associate, quickly fabricates the necessary documents. But their reunion is cut short. The ruthless mercenaries have caught up. A brutal firefight erupts, leaving Viller and his wife dead. Frost, clutching his new identity, makes a daring escape through a second-story window. Beard and his men are hot on his tail. Matt, arriving at the chaotic scene, witnesses it all. A chase ensues across rooftops, Matt pursuing the agile Frost. He catches up, and they flee together in a stolen car. Their escape is short-lived. Beard, in a display of ruthless efficiency, sends a car careening into them, sending them into a dizzying 360-degree spin. Miraculously, they emerge unscathed, though their vehicle is totaled. Exchanging fire with their pursuers, they seek refuge in an abandoned building. In the chaos, they get separated. Outnumbered but not outmatched, Matt and Frost each take down a mercenary. Frost, however, is wounded, taking a bullet to the gut. Matt manages to capture the remaining mercenary, extracting a shocking confession. The mastermind behind it all is a high-ranking CIA official. Frost's words ring true. Matt, his idealism shaken, stares into the abyss of betrayal. They slip into a pharmacy to tend to Frost's wound. Frost, locking eyes with Matt, warns him against blind loyalty. He confesses that he, too, was once a bright-eyed idealist. But under orders, he committed unspeakable acts, even orchestrating a plane crash to silence a CIA whistleblower. And that, he reveals, is just the tip of the iceberg. Though Frost denies this as his reason for defecting, his haunted eyes tell a different story. Matt, grappling with the revelations, clings to his principles, determined to bring Frost in. Frost, with a sad smile, remarks, "Stay in the darkness long enough, and you become a part of it." Meanwhile, Catherine and David arrive in South Africa. David, examining the Langa crime scene, pieces together the evidence. Eyewitness accounts confirm that Matt apprehended Frost, and they're together. Catherine, however, suspects Matt has turned, but David remains confident that Matt will deliver Frost to the designated safe house. They agree to rendezvous at an intersection before heading to the safe house. But as Catherine arrives at the meeting point, she's greeted by the cold steel of a gun barrel. Matt, weary but resolute, arrives at the secluded safe house with Frost in tow. Scarred by recent events, he's now a man on high alert, acutely aware of the mole within the CIA and the danger lurking around every corner. Inside, he immediately subdues the housekeeper. After meticulously verifying his identity, Matt cuffs Frost to a pipe. As an extra precaution, he has the housekeeper call headquarters on speakerphone, confirming everything is in order. Only then does he allow himself a moment of cautious relief, lowering his guard slightly. But as Matt turns to grab coffee from the kitchen, disaster strikes. The housekeeper receives a cryptic text message. His eyes dart across the screen. A brutal struggle ensues, spilling from the kitchen to the yard outside. Despite being severely wounded, Matt's sheer determination wins out. He overpowers the housekeeper, his colleague of mere minutes, and chokes the life out of him. The unexpected violence leaves Matt shaken to his core. He staggers back to Frost, demanding answers. What has Frost done? Why are they being hunted so relentlessly? Frost pulls out the microchip, revealing its explosive contents. A list compiled by Israeli intelligence detailing the identities of corrupt agents within the unspoken alliance, including high-ranking CIA officials. Its exposure would be catastrophic. Without hesitation, Matt tosses Frost the handcuff key. They need to disappear, now. But Matt, bleeding profusely, is in no condition to move. Ignoring Matt's pleas, Frost grabs the chip and flees into the night. Overwhelmed by his injuries and the emotional turmoil, Matt loses consciousness. He wakes up to find his wounds bandaged, David sitting by his bedside, and Beard looming in the doorway. David's facade crumbles, revealing the depths of his betrayal. He explains, with a chilling smile, that he orchestrated the deaths of the housekeeper and Catherine, framing Frost to tie up loose ends. The list, he reveals, contains powerful names, and he's just a pawn in a much larger game. He urges Matt to accept the situation, to choose survival over a futile fight. Despite knowing that defying David is a death sentence, Matt refuses to be complicit. Some things, he realizes, are worth dying for. Suddenly, gunshots erupt outside. David and Beard, their faces hardening, rush out to investigate. Frost, unable to abandon Matt, has returned to the safe house. He takes out a mercenary and blows up David's car. As David stumbles from the wreckage, Frost charges in, eliminating the remaining mercenaries with ruthless efficiency. He reaches Matt, ready to make their final escape. But as Frost steps out the door, a bullet rips through his chest. David, miraculously alive, watches in triumph as Frost crumples to the ground. But before he can celebrate, Matt raises his gun and fires a single, decisive shot into David's head. With his dying breath, Frost entrusts Matt with the microchip. He urges him to expose the truth, to ensure the list doesn't disappear into the shadows. He confesses that he, too, was once driven by patriotism, but lost his way. Matt, he says, reignited a flicker of that lost idealism. He wanted to fight back, to redeem himself, but his time has run out. In the aftermath, Matt compiles a detailed report of the mission, handing it over to the director. The director, desperate to bury the CIA's dirty secrets, offers Matt a promotion, a bribe to relinquish the microchip. Matt, delivering an Oscar-worthy performance, feigns ignorance. But as he leaves the office, he anonymously sends the report to the press. The report's release sends shockwaves across the globe, exposing the depths of the conspiracy. Those involved face consequences, but whether true justice is served remains unclear. In a poignant epilogue, Matt travels to Paris, where he encounters his ex-girlfriend. Their eyes meet across the crowded street, a silent understanding passing between them. And that's a wrap for today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.